Hi everyone, hope everybody's hearing me. So a little bit of housekeeping. Let me do this for a sec. Sharing that for a second. I love this song. Anyway, getting out of this. Okay, hope you like that song. Get you a little bit into it. And I will invite my friend Tracy. Hopefully this works. See how this goes. We are live here, Coach Katya. And let's see if she got the invite. Hopefully she did. Please give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. How's everybody doing? Hopefully everybody's fine after lunchtime. And go from there. Let's see. Hey Tracy, if you are hearing me and you did not get the request, just click on the plus camera on the bottom, or plus video, and I should just accept your invite. Hopefully it works. Live videos, always love them. So anyway, how's everybody doing? Happy December 1st. Coach Katya here. More not in my gym clothes, but I want to celebrate today. Today is December 1st. I am half Romanian as of my roots, and it is National Day. So for all Romanians right there, la mulți ani de ziua României. So you hear me talking Romanian. La mulți ani. Să aveți o zi frumoasă și sper că ați avut o zi frumoasă. So that's that. And let's see if we can get Tracy one more time. And get her on the video. Like I said, Tracy, if you see the live, you have on the bottom near the comment, you have like the camera, but the plus, if you hit on that plus, you can request the invite. If my invite doesn't work to you, so I should do it the other way. And I always love the perks, unexpected events of a live video. So what we did today, we talked about healing thyself at the root source, and hopefully that is still going. If not, we'll restart this video. Just go with it. Yeah. Let's see what else I have. Let me see if I can do it this way. Let me know, Tracy, if this one worked better for you. So, hi everyone. Coach Katya here, Healing Thyself. Let's see, at the root source. Now I have a lot of things to talk about, but I really want to do that with Tracy first. The first time is a charm. If not, we'll go live again and see what it's doing. I mean, it is December 1st. It's kind of crazy. It's the first day of winter, calendaristically. And is, yeah, fun. Sorry, I'm trying to get Tracy. So Tracy, if you hear me, like I said, if you go right on the bottom of the watch of the live watch, you have like the comment and you have like the camera with the plus. Just click on that and you'll self-invite yourself. I don't know what the invite it's not working. Did last week, so I don't know. Not a wizard in that area. We'll see if we can get this down, and we're almost there. So I'm in North Carolina in Triangle Air. It's pretty chilly here today, nice and sunny. For anybody out there who is Romanian like me, December 1st is our national day. So it's a Romanian national day. Saying to all my Romanian friends and my family, la mulți ani. Because it's already evening time there, so they already had all the celebrations. And hopefully I'll have Tracy getting in, and like I said, if she's watching, she should be able to do that. If not, I do not know. Otherwise, give me suggestions how I can fix this, because if you send the invite, I guess you should see it in your messages, but you gotta click on the live video. If you're not clicking on the live video of that person profile, then you'll not be able to accept the invite. And I'll try to do it one more time. If not, I'll just yeah, and I'll take pictures of this. I love when taking pictures. If not, we'll try to come back with it. So I'll give Tracy just one more time. She's trying to attempt. If not, I will close this up and start it again. Maybe that will do it. Yeah. And I love if people ask questions. Healing Thyself at the root source. Let's see if that's possible. It's always possible. Just gotta get with it. It's one of those things. Okay, Tracy, I said go live with, so your camera should roll in. Yay!
Hey there.
Oh my God, that's funny. Yeah, so when I was sending the invite, so I don't know if it's showing on the top or not, so let me know.
So
I was like, learning lesson. Love it.
I was trying to join from my laptop.
Okay. And that did not do it. Maybe, I don't know. I think this is mobile. Yeah, it's the cell phone situation, the mobile version. Look at that. I'm so excited it just happened because I was like rumbling here by myself. So we'll see. So, so healing that self at the root source, December 1st. Happy first day of winter, calendaristic winter. I was telling to everybody today is also National Day, Romanian National Day. So I said La Mulți ani, which is kind of happy birthday in Romanian to everybody out there. We celebrate a lot today with a lot of meat, grilled meat and beer and wine, all that cool stuff. And I think baked beans and sausages, like the whole heavy food
Wow.
stuff.
I
Um, yeah,
get you
that,
prepared for the winter time.
right. So I have that. So, anyways, healing thyself on the root source. I have Tracy, and what we decided to do this. Possibly we'll move forward and have this more on more recurring basis. But I'll let Tracy introduce herself. As I'm Katya, I'm now as a fitness coach. I launched my business about almost 2 years ago, Body Strong Blueprint, teaching people how to build their muscle and just kind of learn sustainable healthy lifestyle. And I'll let Tracy introduce herself and
Yeah,
we'll
I'm
start a
Tracy.
conversation.
I'm Tracy Palmatier, and I am a traditionally trained registered dietitian, and I'm interested in a lot of different modalities of healing, and started this new business called Root Source, and it's a health and wellness type organization. And yeah, I'm excited to get it started, and it's in its infancy stages, so I'm getting it going.
Which is the most exciting part, the most nerve-wracking and the most
Yeah,
exciting part. And it's not only that, it's just something that you're starting, but you've been in the business and as working on nutrition and everything else. So I'm sure you have your expertise and all that. And we said we are talking healing thyself at the root source. So I really want you to talk about the mission of the root source and why this is important for us. And we'll chime in on everything else.
yeah.
Challenge me and we'll talk.
So I, like I said, I've been a registered dietitian now for, oh gosh, it's been, I think, going over 10 years now in the nutrition field. And the root of our health comes from our food, right? So we're taking in food every day, and it becomes us. It's our core, it's our root. It's part of every single cell in our body. It becomes everything that is in our physical being. So every single part of us, every cell, every hair, every bone, and it's constantly turning over, right? So the food is the core and nutrition is the core. And it's a beautiful symphony in the body of chemical reactions. I love to, you know, get people excited because we're so removed from what food is. It's just something that for a lot of us, we just, we don't think about our food. We're not mindful with our food. And so we've lost that connection with our food. And so trying to get people to connect back with what the spiritual resonance is with food. And so, yeah, so there's a lot of different just reasons to really focus on the spiritual aspect, connecting back to the food, to your core, to the root. And that's really what the point of the business is to really get people to connect with their being, with their core, and just trying to find the right modalities for
and it's funny because you're saying it, and I know it's very grandiose and at the same time so deep. It's a deep statement, a deep message at the same time because we all are scared. We're scared to go that deep and really connect to our root source, and we are scared to ask ourselves that questions. We're so comfortable, and comfortable is the word, comfortable to just be hungry all the time, just snack and just pick up things that, you know, we know they're not nutritional, but we just go with it. And it's, you know, it's the lifestyle, it's the commercial, it's the grocery store, is it everything else? And we just got in this on the go, let's say, culture of stress, anxiety, moving, and we are just packing everything up. And you don't see people anymore having lunch, dinner, breakfast. Dinner isn't existent, and if it is, it's very rare. And if it is, it's very separate. Not everybody eats the same food.
Right.
You know, and it's kind of, you know, that's the new culture. And it's like, it's insane. You're saying connecting with, like, we are not connecting with our body. So if we're not connecting with our body, we cannot connect with the food. And I think that's the biggest concern that I have it as a parent. I have it as an advocate for my health and for the health of my family and friends, and just, you know, sharing different practical tools, you know, talking about this, you know, what you consume is very important for your health. Yeah, and that is very important. And it's insane that you see a lot of resistance, like for you said it for such a deep passion. And I feel also the resistance because, you know, it's a huge block for a lot of people
Right.
to get them to understand what that is.
Right.
And I'm sure that resistance is very visible. And sometimes people are dismissive. Sometimes people are defensive. That's
Mm.
how I did it. I don't have time. The best response is I don't have time, or this is how I've been doing, or I don't have time to cook, or, you know, food is
Right.
expensive, all those different things. So we disconnect. So that's our kind of, again, disconnection off. So yeah, that's pretty intense. Resistance is a huge word today in any field, because we do want to let others put us on the spot, but we are very easy to self-sabotage ourselves and self-talk, like, hey, yeah, this is what I know, this is what I'm not doing, and just kind of shut yourself down. And I'm like putting a blanket statement, but not going into really solving and healing and jumping into the healing thyself. You are accountable, you are responsible to heal through different practical habits yourself. And
Right.
I want you to dive in more into that from a practical standpoint, and
Yeah.
what you offer and how that translates in the deeper meaning.
And again, like you said, everyone, you know, nutrition has become so personalized. Everyone is so different. And so, you know, it's not, everyone isn't going to fit into the same mold, into the same category. And so you need to look at each person individually and really see what's going on, because, you know, illness may be coming from, you know, so many different areas. It could be coming from, you know, it could be anything. You know, I can give you so many different examples. But the one thing that I find is that people need to have a certain type of motivation. And that's the best word that I can think of, because there's some people that are just so motivated to do well. If they know that there's, you know, they develop an illness, or there's, you know, an issue with their body that they're not connecting, they have this motivation, this just like it's something deep within them, in their core, that they know, hey, I want to heal, I'm ready to heal. And some people just don't have it, that I've noticed. There's just some people that you can't get through to, and I'm not quite sure what that is, but the only thing I can say again is it's a type of motivation, and it could be a spiritual motivation. Maybe that's a better kind of way to think about it. But yeah, so, you know, I've got a lot of experience with counseling different types of people, and I've encountered a lot of different people and a lot of different attitudes and behaviors towards healing. And so again, it's, everything is personalized. And you just have to treat healing that way. You, like most practitioners do, you just have to treat each person, you know, as an individual. So
Yeah, and that's their journey. And I'm glad that you
right.
said this. So somebody who is motivated, and this is so, it's such a pivotal and another deep statement that I want to bring attention. This is like my story and the story of a lot of people who I coach, you know, I know, it's funny, we have a tendency when we get in a crisis situation. My health is declining. I had a health scare. And you hear people over 50, hey, I had a pre-heart attack, or my blood pressure is high. I have this, I'm on this medication. The doctor said this, and it's the list. And,
Mhm.
exercise, nutrition, and and it comes from fear. That motivation for a lot of people comes from fear. They're like, oh, I'm possibly die in a week, or
Right.
like, I don't know. And it's kind of funny, like, do we need to have a motivation from the fear? Do we need to get there to the extreme, or can we do prevention? And prevention
Mhm.
goes to having that positive outlook. I am my own health advocate. I don't need to jump to the doctor every time and get the diagnosis and I'm like, oh my God, this is what's going on with me. This is what I need to do. Is healing, that's it, connecting with the body, connecting with being self-aware. What do you do? What's your habits? Do you sleep a lot? Do you sleep enough? Do you not sleep enough? How stressed you are. Where's your heart rate? We all have smartwatches. Small tips that people like just disregard. And I think because you get in this autopilot, like, watch, you can do your heart rate all day long and figure out where you're at. And that's insane. Like, why would you not do that to yourself? You're supposed to love yourself, right? You are your own power. And it's mind-blowing that people just don't pay attention to that. They want somebody else to take that responsibility, but then coach them through it, which is nothing wrong with. Yes, you want some expert advice, but you still need to be the one feeling, understanding, getting deeper connected with
Right.
yourself. And that's very important. And like I said, just drinking water, that's another thing. And I'm sure you encounter people who don't drink water,
Right.
and they're just too small.
Right.
Such a simple things that can do
Right.
such a big of a difference. Um,
I would
and
say
yeah,
to jump in for a second, I would say
yeah, go
that
ahead.
mainstream people, um, they want an easy fix, and unfortunately, there's no magic pill. There is no easy fix. It takes work, no matter what level of healing you want. So if it's a physical, if it's spiritual, if it's mental, it's going to take work, and it takes time. It's not something that happens overnight. So, um, you know, maybe if it's a spiritual matter, maybe it is instant, but in most the physical realm, it takes time to heal. So
Right.
that's the other message that I try and tell people, that it's taken this long for you to develop a disease or illness. You have to give your body some time to heal, to
Heal.
repair, to replace nutrients and vitamins that you may have lost. And so yeah, so it's an interesting journey being on this side as a practitioner, helping
Right.
those. So
Yeah, and I think it's like, people are, you just get like, you just get, and this is my personal story. When you hear diagnosis, and I had like the word C, the big C, it's like a, death sentence, and a lot of, a lot of, uh, on the medical field, and I'm talking about cancer. And it's like, when you hear those diagnoses, whatever that is that, you get into this mode. You are, first of all, you're shocked, disbelief, then you're getting into grief. You go through all the stages, but then you realize, okay, I'm taking the hands and I'm fighting what I'm doing. And yes, I'm here, what I do to advocate, and I'm taking best decisions for my health, or I'm just giving up, or just let the system. And what happens is, with a lot of people, they just, they don't connect with themselves. They just are in that fear mode, completely frozen. They're not ready to heal themselves because they think this is impossible. It is impossible to heal myself at the root source, because I don't know what that is. I know that I'm sick because I never connected. I had symptoms, I felt different things, or I dismissed the symptoms, whatever that is. But I do not believe or trust that I can heal myself. And I think that mistrust and that disbelief in your own power is what creates that state journey of you being defined by the disease, having a condition, being confused, living in the fear, being dependent on medication so much, and realizing that yes, you do need the medication, but you can cope and learn how to manage and balance those things. And I think that's a huge thing, how we share the message of people to everybody out there who listening and listening to some replay. Healing thyself, it is possible. It
and
is
it's
real.
a question Western, traditional Western medicine, that is not even a thought that enters
Yes.
a physician's mind. They'll think you're crazy. I mean, it is not on their radar at all.
Right.
And so, and I have found that a lot of people are really taking their health into their own hands because they're looking for alternatives to drugs and, surgeries and traditional things that they don't want side effects. They don't want, this traditional type of medicine. They're looking for something deeper, for something to really heal the overall mind, body, and soul.
Right. And this is exactly what we want to get to. There are a lot of practical things. And my story, I was diagnosed with cancer about almost 6 years ago. I went through all the treatments. I didn't go metastatic. I had a huge tumor on my right side. I got a double mastectomy, went through different things. I was lucky not to have chemo. But I'm still a BRCA1 carrier, so I do have the gene with me. And, the doctor was like, okay, we'll see after 40. We don't know what he'll be, but you're high risk. You can be here anytime. And it's like this thing. And after everything changed, like everything kind of was done, I was like, what I'm doing, like, this is the new life, the new normal, what I'm doing through. And through the process of everything, being my own health advocate, I wanted to be healthy again. I just wanted to have a quality of life. And I explored different options. I got into fitness more than I used to, and fitness helped me to deal with pain management, and I recover faster because I realized neural connection, muscles, all that stuff, all the studies that I just educated myself on. And I did the body work. Then I kind of went in and realized that my mental was not there because I had a lot of fogginess post all the stuff, with all the medication, surgeries, and everything else. I not only that, I had issues with focusing. I just was still in
Mm.
that trauma. My mind was not accepting the reality, and I had a lot of things to deal with. I still had trauma of grieving that I lost a part of my body. So I needed to work on that, the mental. So I was like, okay, I'm working on this. One day good, and one day better than the other. Then I get to, okay, something else is missing, and what is the missing is connection with yourself, and
Mm.
that healing process gets to the spirit and soul. And then I discovered the holistic practices. So I got into energy work, which kind of was a calling for me. I was curious about it a couple of years ago, and I got in Reiki, and just learned about different things, sacred geometry, energy, what our body is made of energy. And this is not something that is not anymore hidden in a box. It's mainstream, and, talk about all rewiring your brain, and how energy works, and all about the chakra systems. And that's something that you're very passionate about. And we understand from that perspective, the holistic perspective, yes, it is possible, you can heal yourself. And there are study, research, cases, books that you can just go online and find about it, that people are successful on. And mindfulness, meditation, breath work, different methods. It's just insane how much data is coming across right now saying, yes, it is possible. Of course, the mainstream and the Western medicine is not really embracing it or trying to dismiss it. Like even on the Healing Thyself, the latest trend that happened like 2 years ago with the grounding and earthing. Like there's so much research and data on it with specific devices that says, yeah, it helps you improve the immune system. And there's some doctors that are like starting to embrace and use it on their patients, but otherwise you don't hear about it. And what I'm talking about, earthing and grounding, it's walking barefooted for 15-20 minutes every day, which is, again, it's neutralizing all the AMF, and it's helping you to improve your immune system and balance your energetic level. Kind of crazy, but nobody's talking about it. You will not get this prescription from your doctor, but
Right.
it's out there and it's helping. So this is just one practical, practical habit that you can start. And I'll just leave it there and let you kind of get into talk about healing thyself and your perspective on this.
Yeah. So sometimes I take the approach of, there's a book and also a video on YouTube, and it's called The Power of 10. And it's a really it's a really cool, if you watch the video, it starts off where there's a person standing, outside, and then the camera zooms out so you can see their environment, and you're kind of hovering above them, and then the camera zooms out to, oh, you see they're, in the United States, and then you zoom out further and you kind of see the global picture, and so the idea is you're zooming out all the way into outer space, and you zoom out, past our universe, you're out in the galaxy, and then the Earth is not even a speck anymore. It's hardly you can see it, and it goes even further than that. The Earth disappears, and then it takes it to the opposite spectrum where it zooms back in. Okay, and then you go all the way back into where the person is, but then you dive into the cellular level, and it keeps going through the DNA. So it's called The Power of 10. It's pretty amazing, and if you haven't seen it, I really recommend it because it's very moving. And it gives you a little bit of life perspective, right? So that, we are significant in a way in the grand scheme of things. But are we? We're in this enormous, atmosphere and galaxy and universe, and it's very humbling to watch. And so, I also make the connection too of, our core is also representative too of our own universe. And so if you think of the sun being at our core, what is the sun? The sun is light, the sun is energy, the sun is fire. And at our core, we have the same thing. We find fire and light. And, people talk about our metabolism being the powerhouse. And it is, and it burns energy, which is our food.
Right.
That's all it is. Our calories are energy, right? We have this
The
matter.
infamous ATP system, ATP cycle, the curve cycle,
Right, right.
you learned in biology class that is, I
Yeah,
think it's only like maybe a day or something, that it's like, here you go, this is how it works. Read a paragraph, then let's move on to the next. It's not
right.
really dived in.
Yeah. It's not very compelling when you're studying it, but I mean, really, there's so many similarities. What I'm trying to get at is there's so many similarities in the macros and the micros of life, and everything really is very symbolic. And I try to somehow plant the seed with some of my patients and people that I talk to about health and healing, and just plant the seed on seeing the symbolism in life. And that to me kind of can help people to connect a little bit more, because it's seeing things kind of out of the normal focus, out of the normal, spectrum, and way we see things. You give them a little bit of different perspective.
And that's a great point that you bring. Did you have feedback from your like any patients who embraced, or they're like kind of curious and they start exploring? Did they ever came back to you and what they said? Like, I know that's like the most amazing thing when you get the feedback and the story.
Right. Well, I mean, I have a lot of people that show interest, and, they might say, oh, well, I tried this, you mentioned this and I tried this, and, and unfortunately because I worked in a hospital most of my clinical life. So you don't get to follow up with a lot of these patients. You only see them for a short amount of time. But just knowing that you planted that little seed, and, I try to tell people, even if you pass that knowledge on to your child, your grandchildren, your nieces and nephews, that information is just going to be enhanced and manifested for generations. So if you're just teaching them the smallest of things about eating well and nutrition.
Yeah, we talk about body, mind, and soul, and healing thyself, it's fascinating what you said, because you know, as I got more into connecting with my soul, and you know, getting more into the spiritual practices, and overall approaching the holistic side of what I gotta do for myself, and how I need to create balance in my life, how I get out of fight and flight and be reactive all the time, and anxiety and just depression and trauma, and how I can heal that. And it is a process, and it's not an overnight process. And what I realized for myself is I started to just be more attracted to eat light foods, and I stepped away from the meat. And it was not something that somebody said to me, it's like, you got to do this so you can achieve this. It was just my personal choice, and it's a choice, it's a free will. You can choose, make those choices, and see how that affects you. And I realized, as I'm moving away and eating more of a light food, talking about light, you know, anything that comes from the ground, trying to find as much organic and less processed, it changed the perspective, and it kind of expanded all of that I see around me, as being more self-aware, or share more kindness, understanding when people are hurt, you know, seeing that you're not responsible, feeling that you're not responsible for everybody's feelings and emotions, and all those things, like, just brought more peace and balance. So that is kind of my experience with it. And again, it was something that somebody maybe suggested, something that I read into and got inspired about it, and I was like, why not to try it? And I grew up this way. Like, through my religion, we had a Lent of 40 days. We always did this cleanse, like, 3 times a year. And I'm like, but I did all this, like, I can do it more than just 40 days. And that was just personal decision. And I saw the changes, and how more sharper I was and less sluggish. You know, I was more comfortable and had more energy when I had not before, and I was not reactive to things. I will not just jump in and feel that I'm attacked and I need to react. I just realized, like, you know, have more of a setback and just kind of embrace what is coming. And that was a huge change for me,
Right.
personally.
Right. And going back to, you know, personalized nutrition, I mean, that's the only way you're going to find out what's going to work for you and what's not. And just over the years, I think it takes experience as a dietitian not to be so cocky and say, oh, yes, the plate method is for you. And this is, you know, one size fits all, and
Yes.
it's for everybody. And because it's not true. And
Yeah.
everybody is different. Everybody is a different age, a different size, they're just different. And so
Right.
even
And
down to
embracing that difference. And
right.
it's like insane how you saying is the same thing is with the fitness, just working on the body. Like, you build a framework, but it doesn't it's adjusting as you get to know the client, as the client goes through their journey. It's no one size fits all. Yes, there's so many claiming programs over there for any kind of nutrition, you know, fitness, that will give you that cure in 30, 60 days. It's just, it's a very short lived, because your body, if it's not healed, it's not developing healthy habits, sustainable habits, they will there will just be a blip in your journey. And how is to move from the blips, from that expectation of end destination, just enjoying the journey, exploring, learning new habits. And we talked about spiritual healing thyself. Share one of the practices that you think, you know, in your life made a difference, as of right now, of healing thyself at the root, thyself at the root source.
A spiritual type of
Yes.
technique.
Mm-hmm.
Um, for my own personal self, well, there's a lot of different techniques, I would say, but that's a good question.
That is a good question. And just, it can be practical if you're comfortable to share. You know,
Yeah,
for me, I was challenged last year to start meditating, and I'm like, oh, I never meditate. Like, I am
right.
a super, you know, super dynamic and energy. Like, how I can stay still. Like, I only stay still when I was medicated or in the hospital. How I stay still, and to me, that was a huge wake up call. I'm like, I cannot even do it for 5 minutes. So I challenge myself, and it's building those challenges. You just gotta find the patience. And I started to, like, meditate 5 minutes a day. And I was like doing slowly, like for 21 days. And I was like, okay, this week, 5 minutes seems short. So I added 5 more minutes. So it was like then 10 minutes. Then I got more and more into it. So, some days I don't have time, but I had to do other things. But that's something that I developed more of, being in that stillness, being in that quietness, and just meditating,
Right,
which I thought was never possible. I was like, because the thoughts will go, and how
right,
you get aware of the thoughts, and just still concentrating on your breath and getting back into yourself, connecting with that.
right. I was going to mention meditating, but I'm not as disciplined as I'd like to be. Um, yeah, I would love to get to that spot where I'm doing it every day and having a certain time of day, but I do practice it as much as I can.
Right, but you are in an amazing, unique spot that you live in. So I think your meditation is just getting outside in the farm and
That's
connecting with the
true.
animals. That's insane, because not a lot of people have that privilege.
That's
Just being so close to the nature.
right. And the energy here is just, it puts you in a different realm, I think. Just like you said, being outside, it's just, yeah,
And a lot of people don't want to be outside. They're just so much indoor,
mm,
in their environment, and they just lost that connection. Then you have people who are like super excited, getting more into exploring, being outdoors, hiking, doing different outdoors activities. So that's encouraging, parents with their kids, and seeing more people being out there. And healing that self at the root source, it's just a topic that it's deeply personal to each of one of us. And like Tracy, we cannot give you any magic formulas. That's not what this is about. It's about uh, talking about our personal experiences, about getting you curious about it, as planting the seed of, can you? Yes. Should you trust? Yes. Can you believe in it? Yes, it is possible. And you can do your own research. Now, Google, any search engines have the answers for you. And there's so much data out there, and any kind of holistical practices. And as we want to empower everybody to think about it, comment healing thyself at the root source. Myself and Tracy, we working on our own project, and this is launching in 2023, Tracy, and I know we'll talk more about it,
mhm.
but going back to that mind body connection and alignment, moving into spiritual side, is aligning and bringing everything together, the root source, right?
Correct. And another tool that I was thinking about that I'm really fascinated with is vibrational healing and sound therapy. And I know so many people just within the last few years that are really listening to the different frequencies, and you know everything vibrates to its own frequency. And the more I'm researching, this has been done in Tibet for thousands of years. This is
Exactly.
part of their practice. This is normal healing practice for them. And
Yeah.
so, and they make their tools by hand. And, it's just, second nature for them. So that's something I'm really trying to get into as well. And um, I think it's going to be, I truly think between light therapy and sound therapy, I think that's going to be kind of the wave of the future. I really think that,
Completely agree with you. And we are embracing, like, I think the trend is growing so much because we are aware of the data. And you talked about the frequency, the vibration. It's insane. Like, I just discovered frequencies, just kind of recently, but I always had them in my house as a child growing up with my grandma. Like, it was always present. Like, all instruments. I played piano as a child. Like, I always had different tones that I always was connected, and different
mm,
tones are different frequencies. It's kind of saying, like, they've always been there, but I never made that deep connection. And sometimes when I talk about frequencies, everybody's like, "So what's your favorite?" And I'm like, "They all do different things. It depends what you're attracting to." You know, like, is it specific one that will help you with everything? I'm like, yeah, they are, but like, you really need to
Feel it.
like healing to that self, connect like what it calls to you, like that's the one that means you need to go to. And top of my list, talking about it, there's just so many. I specifically got into 963 at the beginning, and that was my first one. Just got into that combination and kind of moved through it. And I was amazed. And you talk about, there's so much research. They talk about 40 hertz right now, and there are TED Talks on it with the whole book of research on Alzheimer and dementia, how 40 hertz, 30 minutes a day with specific clinical setup can reduce and actually diminish your dementia and Alzheimer symptoms as you age if you have it in your family. And
Wow.
that is mind blowing. And it's there, mainstream is accessible. There are doctors who do it and clinic institutes, and it's there. So it's not taught so much. So easy to just get into being unable and follow the mainstream Western medicine.
Right. And I think because it is so new, I think the more we talk about it and the more it's accepted, the more people will get into it and explore it. And I hope they do, because I really think there's some incredible power and healing properties behind it that we've yet to tap into. So,
Right.
and
And I go ahead.
some things are I was just going to say, are just, we might never really fully understand them. It's because it's the power of the universe, pretty much. So you don't really learn, or you don't really fully understand all the reasons why it's healing. But
Right, because your mind, and this is kind of insane to explain to a lot of people. The mind cannot grasp
right,
some things that happen with you when you are on the healing thyself journey. I can just tell you from the personal experience, you cannot. Your mind sometimes will be so shocked and surprised, all whatever you wanted, whatever reaction you have, your mind will not grasp it, because we are just programmed, lived, and experienced specific things, and something that is out of the ordinary just shocks us. And that is my personal experience. And as much as it shocks me, I start believing more, because I do believe in miracles, and it's part of the existence. And it's that other side of just believing in it and not letting that not disempowering yourself. And that is the huge statement that I want to say to everybody out there. It's healing. You gotta believe that you're empowered to heal yourself.
right.
There's so many modalities of holistic, alternative Western medicines that can help you, and you can start today with simple steps: meditation, breathing, food, vibration and frequency. There's
Move
so many,
your
but
body.
this is move your body. Yes, they're just so simple. You're not required to have any specific devices. You don't need to get into specific restrictional diet. You don't need to change your entire life. You just need to go baby steps, step by step, and trusting, and just keep adding that into your life. See what works for you, and try to create more of that peace and balance. Say bye to the reaction and just anxiety and worries, and how you embrace that. And that's what I, repetition, getting that mind used to it, how you get into all that.
I think that you touched on something important. I think that might be kind of the window of where people say, once they get to that point and they are in that healing mode, that they realize there's something more, and the spirituality aspect kind of takes hold, and then they go down that route, and then that's a different avenue of healing. So
Exactly.
yeah,
Wow, that's exciting.
emotional. I get
That is right
emotional.
there. It's exciting, because it's like, okay, what is she talking about? It? Did I experience it? Yeah, I did, personally.
Mm,
And it's so empowering. And empowering is just the word that comes in first. But then it's getting more happiness and joy. I had more joyful states, bliss moments that I ever had in my life. And it's insane to talk about it in this reality of, war, scarcity, economics, things happening, and you still can experience those things and choose to focus on your inner world and what's going on there, and how you want to reflect this outwards. And that goes back by not getting just kind of wrapped out in all this outside external factors.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Agreed.
And like I said, for you and going forward, and we'll touch this more. It's really planting that seed, and I stay firmly by it. Healing thyself at the root
Mm-hmm.
source. It's possible. It's true. You got to believe. You never should give up. You'll always find the answer if you want to look for it. And on this note, I feel more comfortable as I embracing my authentic journey, and I'm more comfortable to share with Tracy as we are embarking on our journey to share more of those holistic practices with you. And this is where we'll throw over there retreats 2023. Here they come, and we'll see how that project brings us. Gives us the space and gives us the opportunity to help others to open, unlock, take that outlet into their healing journey.
Right. And for me, I'd like to add to that, I think it's one thing to heal yourself and to have that awareness of your body, to get to that place where you're aligned, your mind is open, you're allowing the universe, but then to share that with others. And that's the momentum that we need. We need to be
Yes.
continually helping others so that they can take that and they can share that information with other people to heal other people. And that is how we create a movement of healing our planet, the bigger picture, which is a grand idea, and it's very doable. But that to me is really what my core mission is.
Yeah, and that is, like I said, very grandiose, but at the same time, it's very doable. And it is doable because we just got to be open to it and be curious, because you'll not understand something. And if you keep resisting, you'll always be empty and start looking for something. It's really connecting to that. And yes, and for myself, like you said, it's that service, it's that realizing that yes, you reach a point that you are comfortable to share it and help others to discover it. And you have that power as you acquire more tools, as you get more deeper in different spiritual practices and holistic views. You are like, okay, I can do this. I feel like I have this prior knowledge, going back to accessing your root source. I feel empowered to share that, because you just never know who you can help just by exposing them to something, just by experiencing something. And when we talk about experiencing, that's something that we want to pursue in 2023 as opening a retreat time frame on your amazing place at the farm. And we'll be connection with the earth and talk about different holistic techniques, and something else that we really want to touch bases. And our grand opening is April 2023. that's we're putting it in the universe to manifest April 2023, and root source and healing at the root source with all the grounding and what grounding means. And it's such a simple word, but I see so daily that people are just not grounded, and how you can achieve grounding by practicing and by embracing practical habits. We're not talking about anything that is not attainable. It's just simple things that you heard about it, maybe you did it, but you didn't connect with it deeply, and see what the results, what it does for you. So if that's something that you want to, you're curious about it, we'll share more details later on. But yeah, this is something that I feel comfortable. I feel deeply it's the time to share and feel empowered to share the message of healing and
I also
healing at the root source. Yeah.
just want to mention too that even though you can be on this journey of, finding alternative avenues to healing, it doesn't mean you have to totally abandon, Western medicine. That is not at all what I recommend. That is not what I believe. I think when you can combine the two in a perfect balance is really when you get the benefit of both worlds. So just it's that balance and what works for you. So
Right. And same here. I went to the Western medicine because I was called to. I did my own research and I advocated for exactly what I thought that I need to do with in order to heal my own body. And it's just that, like, there's no other way. It's no other way. I would love people to get more into healing themselves and feel empowered. It's so disempowering to hear people that I don't have time, there's nothing to do, I've been doing this forever, I should do this, I need to do this. And it's just all this like self-negative talk, and there's no action towards that self-love. And I think we're missing the self-love. And to me was a huge opening 2 years ago when I realized, like, I personally was not taught how to self-love myself. And I was always taught to serve and give everything to everybody around me. And how that self-serving, self-love will empower me more to serve others. Because
mm,
I always went for the perspective, like, if I serve everyone else, I will just be balanced. That's just was part of who I was. And it completely shattered in my face when the clear message was, now you gotta love yourself and do everything what you need to yourself, for your healing mental body, and connect with that heart space. And then you'll see how much you'll serve others. And I think this is where I'm in position, because I embrace the self-love. I hear myself when I say I need, I should, and I recorrect it and say I choose to. And if I did something that is self-sabotaging, I am just embracing it as, like, I forgive myself and I can do better. And I think that forgiveness and acceptance goes so much with that love, self-love. And that personally was like a mind-blowing pivotal moment for me of loving myself. And I think as a mother and everything else, as a female figure, we are just taught to do the opposite. And yeah, and that completely blew my mind. And everything kind of shifted in my life by realizing that, yes, I gotta start with myself, and do that first. So yeah.
yeah, that's sometimes that's the hardest step, right?
Yeah, it's scary. It's very scary. It's like, oh, I need to take accountability, because it's so easy to find things and help others. And you like kind of put yours under the rug. I'm like, oh, I'm not taking care of this, nobody sees it. And maybe nobody did. Maybe
Right.
nobody did. But I knew, because I felt the shame, the blame, the everything else, the self-sabotaging, the hurting myself habits. And it was just part of everything else. And it's insane that you got it. This is the healing. This is my personal healing tip. You gotta self-love yourself. If
Mm,
you if you do not, if you're scared to go that route, please don't. You'll be amazed what you find. Loving yourself and giving that love to yourself every day, in mind, body, and spirit, and exploring what you are authentically will create everything else. And you become more happier, and you more happier. And not only that, you're balanced. Go back to that balance. You feel that you're not empty, and everything else just opens up more. Then you're discovering holistic practices. Then you are more into everything. Then you feel empowered that, yeah, have I can do different practices. I can combine different things and take care of it. It's so easy just to go to the cabinet if you have a headache, open up and take a pill, and just remove that symptom. But the symptom still persists because it's there for a reason. It gives you, the body is giving you a signal.
right.
How much you get deeper and understand, it's like, what is that symptom? Why I have headaches specific times of the day? And that goes back to the self-awareness, the connection with the self. that takes you to the process of the healing. And do you have any personal, like, pivotal moment that you want to share?
Yeah,
I
I've
know
been
you
trying
do.
to think of a good, nothing really is coming to me at the moment. So,
Got it. It's okay. It will.
yeah, I know it's in there.
Yeah. And it's that's all pretty much what it is. And what our goal and statement that we're putting out there for 2023 is creating something that everybody is excited after COVID, right? We've been hooked in, kind of cooped in everything else, and we kind of faced each other and ourselves during
Mhm.
that time. Maybe a lot of people had or I know, for a very interesting word, awakening. And I'm not
Mhm.
talking about the woke movement. I'm talking about
Right,
awakening, and on the spiritual level. And if anybody questions themselves, what's the purpose? What's going on? Am I here to do more? Or maybe just finding that's exactly what I was talking about, switching to loving themselves,
right.
and realizing that's the most important thing and the best calling they can do for themselves. So excited, 2023.
It's coming.
It's coming,
It's
right?
hap- it's happening.
It's happening. So that's pretty much it. We, like I said, want to bring awareness and talk about healing. If healing is something unknown to you, hopefully you grasp something from what we just conversed. If you are already really into healing and curious about a lot of modalities, go ahead and explore. Otherwise, we will share Healing Thyself at the root source. Starting 2023, we jump into retreats of the small groups, just experiencing different modalities of healing and connection with your source, which is your heart, right?
That's right. It's the core.
Anything else that you want to add, Tracy?
No, I'm just so glad to be here with you and so glad that this is in motion and happening and
In motion and happening. And
yeah,
we are at service to empower others to find their healing.
that's
And
right.
that's very exciting. And the joy that you experience when even just saying that is undescribable.
Mhm.
It's really out there. So I hope I get anybody contagious or kind of on the self-positive talk, self-love, and healing that self. And thank you so much, Tracy, for your time
Thank you.
here today on December 1st. I hope we'll come back with some like more practical topics if anybody's interesting, because those practical kind of connect with everything else.
Yeah,
They all go back to the root source. So
right.
it's it's all that. It's all that. But thank you so much. If you want to follow Tracy, I will post all the information. She's also a dietitian, so if you're interested to find out more how you can help yourself by adopting some new ways of nutrition and not just getting a magic formula. We don't offer those, right? We don't offer magic. We just offer tools, right?
Yeah. And
And if
guidance.
you're in
I'm a
guidance, and if you're ready for those, hit her out. She loves herbs. So if you're into plants, then you'll be very happy to work with Tracy. And I'm talking about plants, herbs, okay?
right.
Healing herbs from your garden. So
That's
that's
right.
something that you're interested, hop on in. Otherwise, thank you for your time and to many more, right?
Have a great day.
Bye. Bye.